The idea of this video here is just to explain in a little bit more detail the two documents that were recently uploaded to show my homework for the Year 10 landscape project, looking at completing your final pieces. The first document here is breaking down the exam board's mark scheme. That thin box across the top is taken from the exam board specification, and the annotations around it are me trying to put it into some more student-friendly language. Information here represents one of 4 assessment objectives the exam board are marking you on. We like to call this assessment objective the final piece, but we'll break down what the exam board call it and what they mean by it here. What the exam board are asking for the final piece is for you to present a personal and meaningful response. What they mean when they say personal is that this work isn't a copy. For your final piece, it should be an original piece of work. It might have the influence of an artist, but it shouldn't copy them. And any imagery you use for it, for example photographs, they should be your own, not Google image searches. They also use the word meaningful, and what they expect here is to see that this final piece has developed from earlier work. So it's ideas you've already got, images you've looked at in your sketchbook already, and skills that you've developed throughout the project. The next phrase the exam board use is the response should realise intentions. By intentions, what they mean is your ideas. So things like your responses that you've already done, your compositional studies, the work in your sketchbook that's original, they are your ideas. So when they say realise your intentions, essentially what they're asking you to do is to do your ideas well. To do your ideas as you visualise them in your head. How do you prove this to the examiner? Well, you need to make sure that your final piece relates to the work in your book. If you have an excellent final piece, you won't get any credit for realising your intentions if there is no plans for it in the book, if there are no earlier works that are on the same theme, using the same skills, and maybe of the same kind of image. Exam board's final expectation is your final piece demonstrates understanding of visual language. Visual language is essentially how you communicate visually. In this case, it's how you use the materials. They basically are saying here they want to see the final piece is skillful. You can communicate using the materials, whether it's pen, watercolour, pencil, skillfully. You can communicate your ideas using the materials. That shows understanding of visual language. The final piece, in summary, it's original, it develops from your sketchbook work, and it's the most skillful piece you've produced so far. How does this relate to marks? The exam board then put your work into different categories, based on which words best describe your work. For 0 to 3 marks, they use the word limited ability. For 4 to 6 marks, they use the word basic ability. Thankfully, none of you are basic, so we don't have to worry about these two categories. The first one we might look at is emerging competence, worth 7 to 9 marks and roughly equating to a grade 5. Emerging means you're just starting to get the skills, so you've probably got some talent, but maybe you haven't fully practiced the skills before the final piece. The next category, competent and consistent, worth 10 to 12 marks and roughly equating to grade 6. This means that you have got the skills, you're competent, you can do it. It's not exceptional, but you've done what you planned to do, so we should all be aiming for at least this category. The next category, confident and assured, works out at roughly a grade 7, and you're looking at 13 to 15 marks here. How do you show confidence? Well, you've got full control over the techniques and the materials you're using, and maybe you're using them in a way that's slightly ambitious, so on a large scale or including lots of detail in your work. The final category is exceptional. This is worth 16 to 18 marks. If you just get into this category, you're looking at a grade 8, and if you're getting near full marks, you're looking at a grade 9. What does exceptional mean? It means it's better than you'd expect for normal GCSE standard. How do you get to be exceptional? There's no secret other than putting the time in. Either putting extra time into the final piece itself, or even putting extra time in before the final piece to practice the skills so you're exceptionally good at them. The other document that I've uploaded is a summary of the project for you. So it's a summary of what's expected for the final piece, deadlines that are coming up, and also what you should have done up to now for the landscape project. A couple of extra things on this document that we haven't mentioned about the final piece. I would expect it to be at least A3 size, and the examiner would also expect it to take at least 5 hours worth of work. More if you're looking to get one of the higher grades. Upcoming deadlines to draw your attention to. This Friday, I expect you to submit an idea for your final piece to Show My Homework. This is just a comment where you say what image you're planning to use, the style of what artist you're going to do it in, and what materials you're planning to use for your final piece. The following Friday, I'd like you to submit an image of your final piece so far to Show My Homework. As a minimum expectation, I'd expect you to have the outlines of your piece drawn out so you're ready to go. The following week, I'd like another photograph submitted to Show My Homework, again of your progress so far. By the second week, you should really have most of the piece done, or at least most of the page filled, and finishing touches left to do. The idea of these submissions is that I can give you some feedback to help you along the way, and so no one's leaving all the work to the last minute, where it's either going to be really stressful for you, or the quality of the work's going to suffer. The final deadline for the piece to be finished is Wednesday the 1st of July, giving you 3 full weeks to complete this to the highest possible standard. You should also be looking to complete any outstanding work from the sketchbook, and the list of that is just about to show up on screen. Before it does, just remember you are all very talented artists and you're all capable of producing some fantastic final pieces. Just make sure you put the time and the effort in to make sure this is the best possible work you can do. It's a coursework subject, and the work you produce here is getting graded.